family tradition of brewing beer around here, and my uncle really paved the path for our family, so I feel very honored that he gave me the opportunity to take this over. My name is Fitzpatrick, and I'm the new owner and head brewer at Federal Jack's Brew Pub.
Federal Jack's plays a significant role in the microbrewery movement of the late 1900s and into the new millennium, as well as a long history of providing great beer and merriment in the Kennebunkport harbor, which was one of the top shipbuilding ports beginning in the mid-17th century. In 1992, founder Fred Forsley teamed up with master brewer and educator Alan Pugsley. Alan brought over the Peter Austin brewing system and knowledge he learned from Peter Austin himself. Peter was the owner of the Ringwood Brewery in Hampshire, England, a world-renowned brewer who was often referred to as the godfather of the microbrewery movement. Fred's drive and passion for the restaurant, brew pub business, and vision for the harbor mixed with Alan's love of making great beer and educating others in the trade created the perfect recipe. Kennebunkport Brewing Company was one of the first microbreweries in the state of Maine. Alan Pugsley continued to create amazing English-style ales, which became our flagship ales here at Federal Jack's, and ales that spurred the creation of Shipyard Brewing Company in Portland, Maine, when Kennebunkport was seeing expansion and demand for brews that our humble 7-barrel brewery could not keep up with. We were training brewers who would continue working with us in Kennebunk and for Shipyard Brewing in Portland, as well as spurring off to create or be a part of so many other great breweries across the nation. As Shipyard expanded into a worldwide label here at Kennebunkport, we have continued to keep quality English-style ales our main focus, while also pushing the limitations of great-tasting beers all over the spectrum for every season and every occasion.
Today, I have the rare opportunity to master both blacksmithing and brewing in their traditional forms and to carry those crafts forward. It's a chance to honor the past while creating something meaningful in the present, and I just love that. Clean, crisp ales is my goal, that people enjoy drinking, and that's our biggest thing, is creating an atmosphere where people can have a fresh beer and enjoy where they're at. I love that those tanks have been down there for 30 years, and they're going to be down there for another 75 years as far as I'm concerned. A lot of history going back in that kettle. I'm a kind of guy that likes to do things slow and easy. I don't need the automated brewing system. In this way, I can really learn the beer for what it is and learn what every little aspect does and influences on the beer.
Water is the foundation of our beer, and here in Kennebunkport, Maine, our water comes from the Branch Brook watershed, 18 miles to our west. Our hops primarily come from the Pacific Northwest in England, depending on the recipe. Here's how we do it. Treated water called brewing liquor is heated in the hot liquor bath. Then we put the malted barley into a mill, which cracks the grain open. Next, the malt is fed into a vessel called the mash tun, where it is mixed with the heated and treated brewing liquor from the hot liquor bath. Here, the starches in the malt are converted into fermentable sugars by the enzymes which are present in the malted barley. We have now created a sweet liquid called wort. The wort is pumped into the brew kettle, traditionally referred to as the copper, where a fire beneath heats and boils. The brew hops are added to the boiling water for bitterness, flavor, and aroma. After the boil, the burners are extinguished. The water remains in the copper for clarification by means of a whirlpool pump, trub, comprised of malt proteins and hop solids separate out, leaving a bright, clear water. This is then cooled in a heat exchanger to 28 degrees while being transferred to the fermentation vessel. The next step for fermentation here is the yeast gets added to turn the sugars into alcohol. 3 days later, the active fermentation process is complete. The air will remain in the fermentation vessel for another 3 days for aging. Then the finishing touches and clarification in the conditioning tank. The whole creation from grain to glass takes 7 days. Here in Kennebunkport, the majority of the beer is served directly through taps right upstairs at Federal Jack's. Our beers are handcrafted with the spirit of tradition, integrity, and innovation. We hope you enjoy the view and the brew.
Hiking is a big part of my life. Going to the mountains and being alone in the woods, or being with my kids in the woods or my dogs in the woods. I feel like I'm home in the mountains, but also home on the ocean, and that's where Kennebunk is a perfect mix of both things. So the legacy I want to leave is one of good times and hard work and tradition. I get to brew beer for people and walk upstairs and say, how'd you like it? And have a beer with them. And people that come here are just always sitting in the sun enjoying themselves, and that's what we like to see.